All right, today I want to talk to you about accessibility, because the web is not as accessible as we'd like it to be in a lot of parts. So I want to share some insights with you. First, about me, I'm Mourek. I use they, them pronouns, and I work for a singer. We do monitoring. And coming to monitoring, you use your tools, and there are quite a few issues that come up in most monitoring tools. But before we go into that, what is accessibility? What do I talk about? And it says on I think it was Merriam-Webster, that it's the quality or characteristic of something that makes it possible to approach, enter, or use it. So in order to interact with something, it needs to be accessible. And because I don't have too much time, I'm going to be focusing on visual impairment, one of many different kinds of accessibility that we want to focus on, and especially when it comes to web apps that we might have. Generally, there are more people that are visually impaired than you might think. That is 285 million people globally, or just 1 out of 10 people. If you look around the room, there are probably quite a few people with glasses or color vision deficiency. So how we see color is basically we have 3 cones in our eyes that take in red, green, and blue. Because our bodies are not all perfect, some of those can malfunction, and this leads to the 3 most common variants of color vision deficiency. So you have the red-green blindness, which is actually 2 different kinds of defects that can happen, and also the lesser common yellow-blue blindness. And in monitoring, like many other solutions in that area, we have green is okay, orange is warning, red is critical, and that's kind of important. And if you look at what they look like to people with red-green blindness, yeah, not great. If you have context, that can be doable. Like the colors are stacked up in a certain order, and you can figure out what they are from looking at like the way they are arranged. But when you look at like grid views, for everyone that doesn't have any sort of color blindness, this sort of makes sense, but for people that do suffer from color vision impairment, it's going to be very difficult. Just find the critical in this one. No, it's not going to happen. But themes are a very easy solution to that. If you don't only work with hues to convey information, but for example also brightness. Things that are okay can fade into the background, and things that are worse or more important can be a lot brighter. So I prepared a little comparison for you. Just look at the picture for like 15 seconds, and then you can see how much difference it makes to you visually. Also for people that can see the color, as most people do, that the more critical states actually jump into your face more. So it's not just for people that have color vision deficiency, but accessible is actually great for all of us. Because when we jump to the grid view, I put the old picture in again just to have more comparison and more time. You can see that try to find the critical here, or if you have normal color vision, look at the criticals there, and when it switches, you see the things that are important so much faster. So if you have your own products, try not to rely on like hues alone. It improves the quality of life for everyone if you try to make things that are distinct more distinct. I'm also going to quickly jump over to what happens if you can't see at all, if you're blind, if you rely on a screen reader to read out what's on the web page for you. And the easiest way to adapt to that is just use HTML as it is intended. Don't just use diffs and diffs and diffs, but actually make sure that your content is weighted and that styling should be an accessory for seeing people, but the structure itself is what tells a screen reader what you are looking at. So like break tags, why do they exist? They add nothing to the structure. So if you use headings right, then it's already a big help. And if you use Araya, the accessibility-rich internet applications, I think it is, you can give even more context to things that are mostly visual, like progress bars. Just assign the values of what they're trying to show. So I want to leave you with the insights that I just shared you, and please try to design with accessibility in mind, share it with your developers, and just do some research because it's a really, really interesting topic. Thank you.